Hello guys, you're welcome to the Tailor's Hub. So in this video I'll be showing you how I made this Ankara mixed corporate dress with the cape. The only thing different in the one I made is that it didn't have that buttons on this dress. Okay, so I encourage you to watch the video till end, please. Okay, and I want to thank everyone that has subscribed to this channel. Thank you very much. And if you are new here, please do well to subscribe. You can go ahead and ask me any questions concerning the dress, the sewing and cutting processes that I uploaded. All right, I want to thank you once again, guys. I really appreciate. I do not take it for granted. See you in the next slide. Bye. Okay guys, so like I said earlier in this video, I'll be showing you how to make that Ankara mix corporate dress. Okay, so these are the materials we'll be needing. This is a polished cotton material, a black polished cotton material, and this is an Ankara fabric. All right, so let's get started. So like you know, the first thing you should get is to get your measurements ready. Now the first thing I want to do is to cut the skirt block first, the skirt part of the dress. All right, so now let me move it a little up so you can see it well. So now the half length is your shoulder to your, should be to your navel. However, I like to put my half length above my navel, about 1 inch or about 1.5 inches higher above my navel, because some people's navel, in fact a lot of us, our navels are way a little down, and it doesn't give the nice shape it will give the dress if you put it there. And some people's navel are way down. You won't even need to go there. You have to take it like 3 inches higher. The length, the half length for this particular dress is 16.5. I take out the 16.5, as you can see. All right, so now I measure the length of the dress first. This is 40. Then add the hem allowance. Then I'm going to add 2 inches. I'm going to fold in 1.5 inches down, then take out ½ inch, the one that goes into the blouse part of the, the top part of the dress. Now come up here, take out your 16.5 inches again. All right, and measure your hip line. Your hip line is the fullest part of your hip. That is where you should measure your hip if you want to measure the hip of anyone. So on that hip line is where I'm going to measure the, okay, I think the fabric I folded is not going to be enough for the hip of this dress. Now the hip plus the allowance. All right, now the hip is 38 into 4 is 9.5. so now I think I need to adjust it a little more again. All right, so 9.5 here is 9.5. I'm going to add one. Sometimes I add up to 1.5 inches allowance. Maybe by the time you are weaving and all that, it takes out. So now I add the waist measurement, which is 29. 29 into 4 is 7.25. So I measure 7.25. I add it. Add 1 inch for that allowance. Then add 1.5 inches as the seam allowance, the allowance that you are going to take in. Now connect it. Because this dress is a pencil dress, what I'll do here is I'll take the measurement of my hip exactly. That's into 4, 9.5. That's what I'm going to measure down. I bring it down without adding any allowance. So it brings it, gives that pencil effect. Then I shape it down. All right, and that's that for the skirt part. Trust you can see this well. Okay, I trust you can see this well. Now I'm going to cut it out. So here is the skirt part. All right, this is the skirt part. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the back. Okay, so as we have placed the front on the back, and we have added our zip allowance, then we cut it. And then add your dart placement where you are going to have it. First, notch your center, not the center of the center of the front, and also the back where the zip enters into. Okay, enters into notching. That's the way I notch the small triangle like shape. Okay, so mark also where you are going to put the darts. I marked 4 inches. All right, then I'm going to notch it. That's about that. So let's go ahead and cut the upper part. Like I said earlier, my half length is 16.5. I'm going to measure 17.5. 1 inch down and half inch down, half inch up. Those are the sewing allowances. Okay, so I mark it. Draw a straight line. Measure your back. The back of this dress is 14. Okay, 14. Then add what's it called, half inch, which is the sewing allowance. All right. Okay, measure it from your shoulder to your nipple point. Nipple point is 10. Add to sewing allowance, which is half inch. All right, so now measure your half under bust, shoulder to your under bust. Add sewing allowance. All right, so here, let me roll it well so you can see it. Okay, that's about that. Measure your armpit, which is for this dress 8.5. okay, now connect all your, now those are the vertical measurement. Now you go ahead on your bust point, measure your bust on that nipple point that we measured earlier, which is 10.5. Measure your bust for this dress is 35 into 4, that's 8, about 1/3. Okay, so measure your, add sewing allowance. I added 1.5 inches. Okay, on that under bust, I like to measure to have a very nice shape. You start shaping your dress from your under bust, so that's why I measure the under bust. That is why I'm going to measure the waist. So the waist of this particular dress is also the same as the under bust measurement. Okay, so you measure 7 1/4 that we talked about earlier. Add 1 inch for that. Add 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. Do the same for the edge of the dress, which is also, I can just measure the overall measurement on this under bust and place it down. Overall measurement is 10. I place it down here. I have 10 as well. Okay, all right, so connect it, shape it, then come to the armpit. Let me draw it well so you can see it. The armpit area, reduce the shoulder here, so you don't have this bulging at the armpit area where you have clothes that will be bulging. Just reduce it by like a 1/4 inch, and then I measured 7.5 here. I'll just measure 7 1/4, or you can reduce half inch. Okay, then connect it as well. Okay, for you to remember easily, like I tell my students, to get this armpits, for those of us that don't have tailoring rulers, just draw an arc. Look at it. So you don't need a ruler to do this. If you have a ruler, that's fine, you can use it. But if you don't have a ruler, okay, just draw an arc. That's about that. Okay, so we are not going to shape out our neckline yet. Okay, but the width of that particular neckline, I think, is a little wide. Okay, so let's do 9 inches. So now I'm going to add 9 into 2, that's 4.5. I'm not going to make it 4.5. Why? By the time you turn in your neck, you would have folded in about almost 1 inch. For some of us that like sewing in so much, we would have folded in almost 1 inch, and the measurement it will become a little wider than when you cut it. So now I'm going to measure 4 inches. Okay, I don't want it to be so wide. All right, so by the time I sew it here, it comes back to 9 inches. So I'm not going to shape out the neck yet, just the shoulder. At the end of this shoulder, take out 1 inch. 1 inch, connect it to where the width of your neckline ends. All right, okay, no, that's about that. Then we go ahead and cut it. We use the same front, the front part that we have cut. We use it to cut the back. It's as easy as and add your dart placement, the dart points. Same for the skirt part. Alright, it's the same. So the length of our sleeve is 15 inches. Okay, so 15, I added 2 inches. Round sleeve is 12. Okay, 6 inches, added 1 inch allowance. Okay, that's for the fullest, your bicep. Your bicep is the fullest part of your arm. Then you come down to the edge. The edge of this particular dress is 10.5, which is 5 1/4. Add also 1 inch. Then go ahead and cut. Make sure here you have up to what's on your armpit. Okay, so I'll show you how we're going to place our Ankara, the Ankara fabric. Now what you do is this: take your skirt part, all right, spread it out like this. Okay, so now determine how high you want the Ankara to be on the edge of the dress. So now for this particular one, I'm going to be use 10 inches. That 10 inches, add your M allowance because you're going to fold it in here. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 inches, which makes it 12. Okay, so from that point, from the edge of the dress to where you measure, to where you want the Ankara to start from on the dress, measure this. Measure the width, the wideness of it. This is 21. So what you're going to do now, remove the sewing allowances, which are 1.5 inches here, 1.5 inches here, brings it to 3 inches. Remove that 3 inches from, because the gap in between those scallopings should, in my opinion, be about the same. All right, so now remove 3 inches. If you remove 3 inches from 21, you have 18 inches. Now divide that 18 by 3. That 18, it gives you 6 inches each. Now you know that there are 3. Okay, so now the first one on this side, by the time you sew it, you are going to fold it in. Okay, the last one on the other side as well, you are going to fold it in. What you are going to do, split that 3 inches into 2 and spread it on those 2. Okay, if you add 1.5 inches to 1/6, that's 7.5. 1.5 inches to the other 6, that's 7.5 as well. So for these 2 sides, the width, now the length from here, from this point down, if you look at it, I think it's about 3 inches. Okay, now you can, this doesn't have a particular blueprint to how you should do it. Okay, you can create, yours can be deeper than this, can be higher than this, any way you want it. Okay, now from that point, this is 7.5 inches on this point, really line. Okay, this is 7.5 inches now. 7.5 inches. Now take it higher, as you can see in the style. Measure 6, and remember the middle one is exactly 6 inches. The middle one is exactly 6 inches. Measure it, take it, shape it the way as seen in the style, and take, when it gets to the 3 inches, okay, you take it down. I think that's the style. Okay, take it down. By the time you fold, you have this. All right, if you want it to come a little down, you can do that as well. Okay, it's not a one size fits all approach. Okay, now what you are going to do is to place your Ankara. Place that Ankara, all right, that you want to use, or whichever way you are doing it. All right, this is an Ankara pieces. Okay, so I'm going to shape out that shape now. I'm going to shape it out. Okay, so here is it. Watch. Add allowance. Remember, you are going to fold it in. This is the exact measurement, but make sure you add about ½ inch, so you have something to fold in. All right, excuse me. Okay, now it gets to that point, Take a look. Now the next thing to do, also fold this one. So fold it. Let's follow that same pattern. Remember your allowance. Okay, go ahead and cut it. All right. Okay, so for the last part, also follow the same pattern. Shape out this lace. Okay, make sure you notch this, the point where it's going to be folded in. Notch it, this point, this V point, make sure you notch it to where the sewing allowance ends, and then fold it in this way. Okay, this is it. Okay, all right, so the next, like I told you earlier, the width of our neckline will be 9, but we'll make it 8 before we sew it. Okay, this is the place it was struck. This is the width. Okay, so for the style, you will notice this is on the front side already, so I'm going to chuck it. Now here is it. There's a place that is straight this way, or slightly slanted, okay, this is slightly slanted by ½ inch. This is the straight line. I'm going to make the depth 5.5, or let's make it 6, so it comes down a little. Okay, this is it. All right, then from this point, curve it, something that looks like an arc. Make a curve. Okay, that's it. That's the neckline. All right. Okay, so then we go ahead and cut it. Here's the neckline. Remember, it is 8 inches. It is after we have sewn it that is going to balance up to 9 inches. All right. So now for the back, you add the 1.5 inches zip allowance. That will give you 5.5. Then I don't want the back to be so deep, so I just make the depth 1.5 inches. Okay, then I trace out something that looks like a boat's how you cut a boat's neck, like a neck. This is it. So now the next thing you do, I'll join the shoulder. Once I'm done joining the neck the way it is, like this, fold the material, your Ankara material, into 2, the way I have folded it into 2, like this. Okay, fold it into 2, then place the one part. We're going to cut it one after the other. Place one part of the neckline. You notice that there's this curved part that extends to the back. All right, place that first part on it. Okay, I want it also, the Ankara, to enter into the zip at the back at this point where I'm touching. So why did I place it on it? So that you can relax, you can lay. By the time we cut it out, you can lay on it. Also ensure that the places you folded is up to the measurement, the length of the cape. Okay, look at this point. Ensure that is up to the measurement that you want. The cape in the style is, I think, 2 inches, about 2.5 inches, but I'll make mine 3 inches. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to mark out this neckline. Okay, mark out the neckline. Mark it out. All right, mark out the neckline like this. That's where, even when you remove the fabric, when you remove the upper bodies that you placed on it, you'll be able to spot the point where you are going to cut out. Okay, so I have marked it out like this. I mark out the other side. So let's remove it and see what we have. Look at it. Okay, so that point. So from the place that you have chalked, start measuring the length of your cape. I want mine to be 3 inches, so I make it 4 inches. By the time I take in half up, half down, it comes down to 3 inches. So this is it. 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, okay, 4 inches. Alright, let's go ahead and cut the second part. Do the same, it's the same way that you cut the first part, you're going to cut the second part. Alright, so here we are. Okay, let's mark it out. You can mark that zip point here, then mark out the neckline also. Okay, just as I did the other one. Then take it out, measure for round, 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. So what I'll do is to add, I'll put stay, add your stay to the collars, turn it, iron it, then we can come back and finish it up. Alright, then that's for that. You can now go ahead and hold your bust, waist and hip measurements. The bust 35, and take out 1.5 inches. So join the front to the back. Should also do the same for the skirt part. Alright guys, so we have turned in the capes, as you can see. So what we need to do, what you should do is sew it from, I decided to just use the collar to turn in the neck. So let's go ahead and sew it at the machine. Alright, okay, so use the collar. This is the back side of the upper bodice, as you can see. So you use the collar to turn it in from the back to the front. Okay, so let's go ahead and sew it. Alright, do the same for the other side. Alright, this is it. Start from here. So we have our cape. Let's go ahead and spread it out. So the next thing you should do is to notch round the neckline. Why should you notch? You should notch because anytime you have a curve, if you want to turn it back, it will not straighten out. It won't straighten out. So beginners take notes. So now we have it. So what we are going to do now is to iron the neckline. Okay, we iron the neckline. We add our sleeve. Okay, add your sleeve. This is the armhole point. Add your sleeve, then the zip. Then you can add the skirt part. Alright, once you are done with that, you are good to go. The dress is ready. Anyway, this is the neck. This is the collar. So I kept saying collar. This is the cape. Okay. Alright, see you in the next slide.